Hello student. Today again I am going to start the chapter first of your book Indian Economic Development. Topic is Indian economy on the eve of independence. This is part second. In the first part I had just given you introductory explanation that when we gained our independence, which type of India, what is the condition of India, okay. So I had explained the condition of India under the 8 subheadings, okay. Now today I'm going to explain two major heading: low level of economic development and agriculture sector. Okay, let me start. So low level of economic development under British rule. If you want to know the condition of any economy, the condition of any economy, it is working properly or not working properly, its condition is good or bad, okay, or it is a backward economy, progressive economy. So there are basically two indicators, the two indicators used by the economist: national income and per capita income. Okay student, so I think now you know the meaning of national income. What is the meaning of national income? So national income means NNPFC, means net national product at factor cost. It is the net factor cost means market value, not money value. So it is the net money value of all final goods and services produced by normal residents during an accounting year. Okay, so there is no need to write the meaning of national income, just I am making a revision. Okay, so there are only two indicators to know about the economic condition of any country. These two indicators are national income and per capita income. So national income, you are familiar, factor income, that is earned within the country plus outside the country during an accounting year, that is considered as a national income. And what is per capita income? So per capita income, when we divide national income by total population, then we get per capita income. Okay, so now I think you are familiar with these two words: national income, okay, the factor income, that is on within plus outside, okay, an accounting year. And per capita income, when we divide national income by total population, we get per capita income. Per capita income, what it tells? It tells about availability of goods and services per person. Okay, now, so at the time of on the eve of independence, when there is the British rule, we find that there is not any proper or sincere attempt is done by government. Which government? British government, to estimate national income, okay, or to estimate per capita income, because they don't have any motive of progress for Indians. Okay, they are here only for their own development, for their own prosperity of Britishers. Okay, and they are here to get the raw material at very least price, and when they produce final goods with the help of industry, then they require market. So for that they come back and they sell their goods here. Okay, so the main or sole purpose of Britishers is only this much. So that is why they don't make any serious attempt to estimate national income or per capita income. So there are some individual attempt is done by expert. Okay, so these expert has done the studies. So the studies revealed that there is a growth of national income less than 2%. The growth of national income is less than 2%. And per capita income, so there is growth rate of per capita income is only 0.5%. 0.5%. So you can understand, this is why we are saying that low level of economic development. Which type of economic development we are having? When there is British rule, low level. Why? Because our growth rate, national growth rate, is less than 2%, and our per capita income, it is increasing only by 0.5%. Okay, student. So if any country in still in today time, if any country is having growth rate that is between 2 to 3%, then it is considered as a backward economy and stagnate economy. Okay, yesterday I had told you it. If any economy is having growth rate of 2 to 3%, then it is considered as a backward and stagnated economy. Okay, student. So this is why we are writing here low level of economic development under British rule. Why? Because our national income, its growth rate is only 2%, and our personal income, it is increasing only by 0.5%. Okay, student. And government is not interested to estimate national income, while it is the basic work of any government. But because the government is not Indian government, that time the government means British crown, so that is why they are not interested. Okay, so some notable estimators, this is 1 marks question, actually it is very important. Okay, student. So sometime asked, who are the notable estimator of India's national and per capita income? So that individual attempt that is made by the expert are Digby, W. Digby, Dadabhai Naroji, Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao, R.C. Desai. Okay, so these are the experts who try to estimate national income and per capita income, and these data that you are reading here, that is the result of the studies of these experts. Okay, so you had covered two important points. First, what is the NI at that time? 2%. And what is PCI, means per capita income? Only 0.5%. Okay, so it is 1 marks question. And who had done the estimation of national income and per capita income? So it is done by V.K.R.V. Rao, R.C. Desai, Dadabhai Naroji, etc. Okay, now, so this is the 1 point about low level of economic development. One more thing, there is not only less development of national income and less development of per capita income, but also the distribution of national income. The distribution of national income is also inequitable. Already I think you are familiar with this term. When we had learned microeconomics, we had learned about equitable distribution in demand chapter also, in the first chapter also. Okay, so inequitable distribution means what? The condition in which richer section is becoming more rich and poor section becoming more poor. This condition is known as a inequitable distribution of national income. So we find two features, okay, regarding two indicators. National income and per capita income, both are very less, and because of that we are backward and we are stagnated under the British rule. Okay, and second thing, distribution of national income is not equitable. Okay, it is inequitable, means richer sections are becoming rich and poor section are becoming more and more poor. And what will be its result? What will be the result of inequitable distribution? Its result is that ki apart few people, most of the people were living under abject poverty. What is abject poverty? What is abject poverty? So abject poverty is that condition in which the people are not able to get food, get shelter, sanitation, drinking water, healthcare facility. Okay, so when if people are facing this problems, this type of problem, then we called it abject poverty. This time when there is the problem of COVID-19, you can see the daily wage earner is already facing, every time they are facing the abject poverty, but this time their problem is too much serious. You can see every day they are moving from one place to another place without eating, without any means of transportation. Their condition is too worse. Many of them died because of starvation. So that time when there is British rule, most majority of the people are facing this problem, this abject poverty, means severe problem of poverty. Okay, only few people are living luxurious life, okay, rich, and that are jamindars. Okay, only few peoples, middleman. Okay, so I think you are able to understand this topic, economic development. Which type of economic development we are having? We are having low level of economic development. Why we can say it? Because national income and per capita income both are very low. Only growth rate of national income is 2% and per capita income was only 0.5%. Okay, and one more thing, there is inequitable distribution of national income. Because of that, most of the people are living under abject poverty. Okay, student. Now this I had taken here for your for it is helpful for making notes. Okay, so you can read it and you can prepare your notes. Now, the second point that I am going to discuss in this video is agriculture sector. Okay, in this pic you can see what is the condition of our country. Why I had written there abject poverty. Okay, this is the condition. Okay, people are not having proper food, not having clothes, not having shelter, not having drinking water. You can see them, they are facing malnutrition problem. Okay, let me start. So agriculture sector, again the key word for agriculture sector is backward and stagnation. What is the condition of agriculture sector? Agriculture sector was backward and stagnated at the time of British rule. Okay, why I am saying this? Why? Because 85% people are engaged in, sorry I had not written here, but engaged in agriculture sector. Okay, how much percentage? 85, nearly 85% people were engaged in agriculture sector. Okay, so you know now there are three type of sector. Okay, first is primary sector, second is manufacturing sector, third is tertiary sector. If any economy, most of the people are engaged in primary sector, means agriculture and aligned activities, that economy is considered as a backward economy. So that is why I am writing here backward economy. Why? Because 85% people are engaged in which sector? Agriculture sector. Okay, so this is the sign of backwardness during the British rule, because 85% people are engaged. Okay, today this data is less. 54% people are only engaged in agriculture sector. This is why still we are developing country, not developed. Okay, so 85% people were engaged in agriculture sector. And beside this fact, there is one more thing ki the country was not able, the country was not self sufficient in food and raw material for industry. Means the country is not able to fulfill the basic requirement of food grain, okay, and the basic requirement of raw material for industrial sector. Means production is this much only, that we are not able to fulfill our food requirement, country's food requirement, and there is lack of raw material for industrial sector. So you can understand why I had written here backward economy and stagnant economy, because 85% people are engaged in agriculture sector. Beside this, we are not able to fulfill basic requirement of food grain. We are not able to produce this much good food that we can fulfill our food requirement. Okay, and raw material, industry get raw material from primary sector, from agriculture, like sugar cane industry gets sugar from agriculture sector. Okay, so cotton industry get cotton, jute from agriculture sector. So we are not having this much surplus. Okay, why we are having this condition? So here we are going to learn 4 point for backwardness and stagnation condition of agriculture sector. So the first heading is the land settlement system, okay, that is known as a jamindari system also. Okay, what is this jamindari system? Already we can see lot of movie about this system, okay, like Mother India. Okay, if you had seen Mother India, now you can understand this topic very easily. If you had not seen, so please see this picture. Okay, this is the picture which are failed to get Oscar just because of one vote. So you can understand how much content will be of this picture. This picture is excellent. It is having a very good picture of India of that time. Okay, so what is Jamindari system? Jamindari system is that system in which the Britishers actually given ownership right to jamindars, okay, and who collect revenue for them. Lagan picture, you had seen Lagan movie also. So that movie is also based on that system, Jamindari system. What is Jamindari system? It is very easy to understand. Actually, uh, when there is the rule of Britishers, what they did, they taken ownership from farmers and they had given this ownership of land to jamindars. Okay, they appoint jamindars and that person collect revenue for them, that is fixed by the Britishers, and that time that is known as a lagan. Okay, and now when there is British rule, farmers, we don't use the word farmers because they become cultivator. They are only having the right of cultivation, they actually not having the right of cultivation also. They have to take land, they have to take piece of land on rent and they do the work of cultivation. If they are able to pay lagan to jamindars, then next year again they are given that piece of land for cultivation, for farming. So this is a very typical arrangement. It is a triangular arrangement. In this way, on the top there is British government. Okay, they appoint owner of the land. They appoint few people as owner of the land, known as a jamindar. Okay, what they do? Jamindar collect revenue, that is known as a lagan, to whom they collect this lagan or revenue from tiller of the soil, who are the true cultivators, who are the true cultivators. They do the work of farming, okay, but they are not having right of ownership. Okay, when there is British rule, they are having political power. Okay, so they shifted this ownership to themselves. Okay, and they appoint few people as a owner of the land, that is known as a jamindar. These jamindar collect revenue that is fixed by the Britishers, and these jamindar collects this revenue from the tiller of the soil. Okay, this is your jamindari system. So in very simple language, when there is British rule, so on the top of the government, okay, so the government appoint few people as a owner of the land. They are known as a jamindar. For that, for what? For collecting the revenue, that is known as a lagan. For whom? Tillers of soil, true cultivator. Okay, tiller words we are using, not the farmer words. Why? Because they are not having ownership. Okay, so what happened? Who are appointed as a jamidar? Who are ready to give the fixed revenue. Okay, there are tender. Okay, the person who come and they are ready to give maximum or fixed revenue, they are appointed as a jamindar. Now jamindar are free to impose any level of tax. So what they do, they impose higher level of tax. Okay, now the cultivator also take land from jamindars as on rent. If they are able to pay lagan, okay, what is fixed by the jamindar, if they are able to pay, then next year again they are given the work of cultivation. Otherwise they have to give up that land and they become landless labor. Okay, and they have to work like a badhua mazdoor. You had learned it. Okay, so I think you had listened this word. Okay, so government appoint jamindar, they have to give fixed revenue, means fixed lagan to government, and they are fixed to pay, to impose any level of tax to tillers. They impose high tax on tillers, okay. And more important thing ki they tax is not a bad thing. In today time also we pay tax, but what happened, government when they impose tax, in return they give us lot of amenities, lot of facilities, free hospital, primary educations, road, dam, okay, hospital, city hospital, medical hospitals, pgi, okay. So in this way the tax is not a bad thing, okay. But that time jamindar only take tax, okay, they took only tax, but they don't do any investment on agriculture, okay. They enjoy a lavish life. So in this way the main interest of jamindar was only to collect lagan regardless of the condition of cultivator. Even the time of famine na, in the time of drought, means सूखा, जब सूखा होता था, that time also they impose high tax and they collect it at anyhow, okay. So in this way this jamindari system is very very hard system. It is not good for agriculture sector, it is not good for cultivators or tillers, okay. So here you can see what is the ultimate result of this jamindari system. So tillers of the soil, our actual cultivator, got bare minimum for survivals, okay, and they were left with no surplus for investment in agriculture. The jamindar on the other hand spent their revenue income on the luxury of life, okay, and little or no investment were made for the development of agriculture. You can see this is the condition of people, majority of the people of India at that time, and this is the house of jamindar at that time. They live luxurious life, lavish life, okay, they enjoy. But on the other side, the tax is so much on cultivators, tillers, that they are not able to survive it. In very simple language, if I will explain it with an example, so suppose British government told to give 100 quintal, okay, yeah, suppose for one farmer, for making it easier. So suppose British government fix the lagan 20 quintal, okay. Now jamindar, the person who decided, okay, I will give me the ownership of land, so he is now known as a jamindar, okay. Now what he do, he put 15 quintal as a lagan, okay, 15 quintal as a lagan, okay. Now this 5 quintal they sell it and enjoy a luxurious life, okay. In this way, suppose if the farmer is not only able to produce 60 quintals, means he is left only with the 1 quintal, and sometime at the time of famine they are not able to do any level of production, still they have to pay. So in this way they become landless labor, they are badhua mazdoor, and they have to work for jamindars without any receiving, without any payment, okay. So this is a very critical condition, really it is a very critical condition of that time. Now, so here you can see one of the major cause of stagnation of agriculture sector was introduction of land settlement system by Britishers. Under this system there exists an intermediate class jamindari between the British government and peasant of the actual tillers. And this is the picture of a jamindar. I have searched on Google and paste here, okay, used here. So you can see how much healthier this jamindar, so you can understand now ki how much luxurious life and how much availability of food and other things will be. So you can understand the real condition of jamindars and majority of the people of the India during the British rule. Here it is given jamindar recognized as a permanent owner of the soil. They have to pay fixed sum to government, as land revenue. Jamindar were free to exist as much from the tiller the soil as they could. What will be its result? It lead to ultimate exploitation of the tiller of the soil by the jamindar. Rate of the land revenue were frequently raised by the jamindar, which lead to frequent eviction of the tiller of the soil, and tillers were reduced to the status of landless labor. So with the help of these content you can make your notes. Okay, now second topic of backwardness and stagnation of agriculture sector, that is commercialization of agriculture. So first of all we are required to understand the meaning of commercialization. What is the meaning of commercialization, beta? It means production of agricultural crops for sale in the market, for sell rather than for family consumption. Okay, if a farmer is doing farming, okay, so that he do the production work and he going to sell it in the market, this condition is known as a commercialization of agriculture. Means he is not doing the agriculture for family requirement, okay, for family consumption. He is doing farming so that he can sell the product, okay, in the market. So why people are started to do this? Because farmers were given higher price for their producing cash crop. Okay, this commercialization of agriculture is actually related to this cash crops. Cash crop means what? Not money. Okay, cash crop means that crop you can sell in the market and you can immediately get money, like jute, like sugarcane, like indigo. Okay, so indigo plantation in indigo revolution you had learned now. Okay, so that time they introduces commercialization of agriculture in India. Before that people don't know about the cash crops. Okay, they produces basically wheat and rice. Okay, but when Britishers come, they forcefully and they give more money. First they encourages them to do the production of cash crop by giving higher price, by giving them higher price. Okay, and in this way they are promoted to do the production of cash crop. Cash crop means like cotton, jute, indigo, etc. Okay, and why they want that people of India started to do the production of cash crop? So that they are able to run their factories in Britain. Okay, they are able to run factories in Britain. You know na, in that time there is industrialization, modernization. Okay, and that time the factories require raw material. Okay, and for that they want cash crops. Okay, and that's why they promoted farmers to do the production of cash crop. For that initially they started to give more and more money, higher price for that. But one thing is here, that if on a land you started to do the production of cash crop, now you are not able to do the production of agricultural crops. So this is the drawback. So initially they given high price, but when they started to do the production of cash crops, after that they reduce the price. Okay, they reduces the price. Okay, because now they are compelled to do the production of cash crop. Why? Because now their land is not good for producing agricultural product like wheat and rice. Now they are not able to do the production of wheat and rice. When they have do the production of indigo, they have do the production of tea, they have do the production of coffee. Okay, so in this way this commercialization, what its result? So its result is that ki people started to do production of cash crops. Okay, in the place of food crops they started to do the production of cash crop. And in the beginning I had told you now, there is abject poverty. People are not able to fulfill the food requirement of our country. 85% people are 85% people are engaged in agriculture, but still there is the problem of starvation. There is the problem lackness of food grains. Okay, and in that condition they started to do the production of cash crops in the place of food grains. So you can understand it is going to increase the problem of food grain, means there will be fall in the production of food grain, there will be more problem of lackness of food grain, and its result is frequent famines. Famines means सूखा, okay, and ड्रॉट, ठीक है, अनाज की कमी होना. तो देर आर फ्रिक्वेंट फैमाइन इन इंडिया ड्यूरिंग द ब्रिटिश डेज. So I think now you are able to understand this topic. What is commercialization? When people started to do the production of agricultural crops for the sale rather than for family consumption. Okay, initially Britishers given high price for producing cash crop like cotton, jute, indigo, tea, coffee, etc. Why? For running their factories in Britain. Okay, so what its result? People started to do the production of cash crops. So there, in place of food crops, means in place of wheat and rice, they started to do the production of jute, cotton, okay, indigo. So what is its result? Its result is fall in the production of food grains. And when already there is the problem of food grains, there is the lackness of shortage of food grain, and when there will be less production of food grain, so there will be severe problem of famine. There is serious problem of shortage of food grains, and people started to die because of starvation. Okay, now I think now you are able to understand this topic. So here there is given again, I had pasted this page here so that you are able to make the notes. Okay, now the next topic is low level of productivity. Okay, so this is the third problem of, because of that there is the problem of backwardness and stagnation in our agriculture sector. Okay, so first of all, what is the meaning of productivity? So first of all, we have to understand the meaning of productivity. So this is the meaning of productivity: per hectare production. Per hectare production is known as a productivity. Okay, I'm going to explain with a numerical example. Suppose one person is R and one person is M. Okay, both are having 1 hectare land. He is also having 1 hectare land. He is also having 1 hectare land. But R is able to produce 10 quintal and M is able to produce 40 quintal. Okay, student, and he is able to only produce 10 quintal. So this is per hectare production. Okay, in 1 hectare he is able to produce 40 quintal. He in the 1 hectare land he is able to produce 10 quintal. Who is producing more? M. So obviously, no doubt, he is going to use modern technology. And on the other hand, R is using conventional technology. R, he is not upgrading. Okay, he is not doing investment. So I think you are able to understand per hectare production. So how much you are going to produce in 1 hectare, that is considered as a productivity. Okay, so per hectare production is known as a productivity. Okay, student, when there is a low level of productivity, so there will be low level of production of food grains. Obviously, when per hectare productivity, like Ram, he is only able to produce 10 quintal. R is only able to produce 10 quintal. Okay, per hectare. Or on the other hand, M is able to produce 40 quintal. If suppose he is having 2 hectare, he is also having 2 hectare, so he is only going to produce 20 quintal and he is able to produce 80 quintal. Okay, so in this case there will be more production, and in this case there will be less production. Okay, so when there is less productivity, so there will be less production. Like in the case of Ram, he is only able to produce 20 quintal on 2 hectare land. Why? Because his per hectare productivity is only 10 quintal. Okay, student, now so when there is low productivity, there will be low production. Okay, so reason for this low productivity and low production, because that time The tillers are true cultivator are not using modern technology. There is lack of irrigation facility. There is no use of fertilizer, pesticide, insecticide. Okay, so in this way, that time India's agriculture production was estimated to be around 50.8 lakh tons, which was quite low to meet the country requirement. 85% people are engaged and they are only able to produce agricultural production. How much? 50.8 lakh ton. Okay, and that is quite low. Okay, so I think now this you are able to understand this topic. Low level of productivity is the another major problem of our agriculture sector, because per hectare production is come, that is why the total production is low, eh? And because of that we are not able to complete food requirement of of our country. Okay, and what is the reason behind having this low productivity and low production? Because we are using traditional way of farming. We are not doing any upgradation in our method of farming. This is the reason. Okay, student, here I had written many things. Okay, so you can make notes with the help of this. Okay, here you can see 85% people are engaged in production, but they are only able to produce 58 point lakh ton agricultural production, and that is quite low to meet the country requirement. Okay, and why we are having low production and low productivity? Because of lack of modern agricultural equipments, input, poor irrigation facility, lack of high yielding variety seed, pesticide. You know, the problem of food grains we faces till the time of 1964, until we had not adopted green revolution. That day, till that day, we faces the problem of shortage of food grain. Okay, student. Now, adverse effect of partition. So it is also very important point. Okay, why it is so much important point? Because when India gained independence on 15 August 1947, that time India is divided into two parts. Okay, Pakistan and India. So Pakistan, when that Pakistan, most fertile land went with the Pakistan, and because of that we face two basic problems, so that I'm going to discuss here. Okay, so what was the adverse effect of the partition? So first adverse effect of the partition is shortage of raw material. Okay, jute. Who faces this shortage of raw material? Jute mill of Calcutta, textile mill of Mumbai and Ahmedabad. Okay, why we are facing this shortage of raw material? Because the whole jute production area become the part of East Pakistan. Now it is known as a Bangladesh. Okay, the whole jute production area become the part of East Pakistan, went to with East Pakistan. In this way, the jute mill of Calcutta, textile mill of Mumbai and Ahmedabad faced the problem of shortage of raw material. Okay, so this is the very big problem that we faced when there is partition of India. Okay, now second thing we face, that is food problem. West Punjab and Sindh, that is known as a Sapt Sindh. Okay, in history, Sapt Sindh, it is known, that area is known as a सात नदियों का देश. And ancient time the foreigner calls India सात नदियों का देश, seven river, the land of seven river. Because of that, because in these area, West Punjab and Sindh, there are the seven rivers. Okay, you can understand there is too much facility of irrigation. Okay, because of these rivers, and where is river, there is fertility, more fertility of land. So because of that, these West Bengal and Sindh were known as a food granary of India. That is known as a food granary of India, and these are went to Pakistan, and these area went to Pakistan when there is partition of India. So obviously there will be problem of severe problem of food grains, and because of that the result is that ki India had to face the problem of food crisis until which date, till the 1964, until we had not introduced HYV technology, means green revolution. Green revolution. So till the time of green revolution it is not started, we had faced the problem of food grains. Why? Because the most fertile land went to Pakistan, the area of West Punjab and Sindh, that is known as a food granary of India, that went to Pakistan, and that is having too much fertility, okay, fertile land. So obviously it is going to give us the problem of food crisis, and because of these food crisis we have the revolutionary attempt that is known as a green revolution. We adopted HYV technology. Okay, so student, I think you are able to understand what were the adverse effects of partition. Because of partition of India, we faces two major problems. First problem is shortage of raw material, and who faces this problem? Basically jute mills and textile mills, jute mills of Kolkata and textile mills of Mumbai and Ahmedabad. Why? Because whole jute production area went to East Pakistan, that is now known as a Bangladesh. And we also faced the problem of food crisis. Why? Because majority of fertile land that comes in the area of West Punjab and Sindh, that is known as a food granary of India, went to Pakistan, and we faces this food crisis till the green revolution. Okay, now here I had pasted this page, okay, so that you are able to make the proper notes. Okay, so here you can see impact of partition of Indian economy, shortage of raw material, food problems. Okay, and here is given कि India got 82% of population and 65% of food grain area. Okay, and rich food producing area of West Punjab and Sindh went to Pakistan, and this aggravate the food crisis in country. So I think this data is very useful for the support of this line, food problem. Okay, so make the notes properly. Now ultimately we had completed 2 points regarding backwardness of Indian economy on the eve of independence. First is low level of economic development. Why we can say low level of economic development? Because of only there is growth rate of national income was 2%, less than 2%, and the growth of per capita income was only 0.5%, and there is inequitable distribution of national income. Because of that majority of people faces abject poverty, means only middlemen or jamindars only were there who are enjoying lavish or luxurious life, and most of the people are facing the problem of poor poverty. Okay, severe power of poverty, and there are too much famines. Okay, because of that. And now second thing we had learned about the agriculture. So in agriculture the reason for its backwardness is land revenue system, in which the basic thing is jamindari system, that is a triangular arrangement in which Britishers appoint jamindar. Okay, they have to pay a fixed amount of revenue to Britishers, that is known as a lagan, and they are free to impose any level of tax. So they impose high level of tax on cultivators. Okay, in this way, because of this arrangement, there is no one who going to invest for the fertility of land, and in this way the productivity and production continuously decreases. Okay, now second thing, forced commercialization of agriculture. Okay, and because of this we faces the problem of famines. Okay, and partition of country. Because of partition of country we faces two problem, food crisis and shortage of raw material. Okay student, and if suppose it is asked in long question, then you can write this much thing. Otherwise, if it question is asked in 3 or 4 marks, so you can explain in this way, in this way, in this way, in headings. Okay student, so I had written it again. So if in the 3 marks question, you can write in this way. Okay, agriculture sector provides employment to 85 of the population, stagnation in agriculture sector, low productivity, exploitative land settlement system, particularly zamindari system, commercialization of agriculture, low level of technology, lack of irrigation facility, neglection use of fertilizer, imminence misery and social tension among the farmers, partition of the country affected agriculture sector. So in 3 or 4 marks question, okay, you can give the answer with the help of this slide. Okay, so you note down it and make the proper notes. Okay, thank you student. One thing I want to state, that you have to prepare 2 copy for Indian economic development. In 1 copy you are going to write notes. Okay, all the uh, chapter with topic wise. Okay, and in the second copy you are going to write question and answer. Okay, in the next video we are going to discuss about industrial sector. Okay, so for today it is this much. Now thank you.